Yeah, I don't even know if it's enough time yet, to digest. I was talking with my linebacker coach, and I don't think it's anything you can put words to. As a competitor, you train your whole life for a moment, to play for a world championship, and to be up 27-0 and come out on the losing end. Um, I can't say I've ever been a part of something that hurts that bad, in my life, and so. It's not something you can put words to. It's something you kind of just have to feel the hurt and the pain of it, um, and come back stronger.
Obviously, the defense was out on the field in the second half an awful lot. What seemed to be the problem in terms of stopping them when they got some momentum, they got back in the game?
Well, you got to give Trevor and Coach Peterson and you know Ingram, their receiving core, ETN, their offensive line. You got to give them credit. Uh, I think I really grew in my respect for Trevor last night because he threw 4 interceptions in the first half, and then was able to come out in the second half and I think throw 3 touchdown passes to bring him back. When you talk about resiliency as a competitor, 4 interceptions, that's a lot of bad at the quarterback position. And so for him to come back and do what he did in the second half, I think they were just able to go up tempo. I think if you look at our defense in up tempo situations this year, we haven't been the best. And they were kind of just able to. I think the formula for them coming back was our inability to limit explosive plays in the pass game, and then, our inability to establish a firm running game there in the second half. When you're up big, you can really bleed the clock with the run game, and then defensively, we just gave up too many explosive passes. And when you give up explosive passes, that's how they get big chunks, and they were able to do that in the second half.
Everybody kind of felt a little sick taste in the mouth. And of course, everybody wants to look at the bad side of things. You give up a 27-point lead, but you look at the bright side, and I think you see what we did in that first half, and you see a team that is more than capable of playing at a high level in high-stakes games. With adversity comes growth, and I'm a realist, and I try to look at the positives in everything, and so I'm excited. I'm excited to learn from it.
You feel like this was the most adversity you've dealt with in a season, just with the injuries on offense, your own?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a tough year. But I think adversity is a good teacher for us, and it's a good experience that we had to go through and learn. And there's really only going to be one team happy at the end, and it's not us. And so we're going to use that as fuel for going forward. And having gone through these things this year, we're better off because of them. And we might not know why now, but I know that going forward, these guys are going to appreciate these lessons, and we're going to do everything we can to learn from them.
Where do you think guys' heads are at right now? Is it in the past or in the future?
Both. Both. That's why I got this. It's a love-hate relationship with football, man. You love playing the game, hate when you play bad, hate when you lose. And so that keeps you in the present, keeps you in the past, because you see what you've built up to. You're proud of that, but you're also in the present, and whatever's going on now is going to probably control your feelings. And then you're also looking forward to the future because you know that in the end, it just comes down to your health, how you feeling, and looking forward to getting back and getting another opportunity. And so right now, we're in this haze after every loss. We have this feeling of like this sick feeling inside, just because there's so much effort put into this. And so right now, that was the first time we've been in the playoffs in a minute. And for us to go out there and play like we did in the first half and then lose it, we have a sick feeling because we know we could have easily beaten that team. Not easily, we could have beaten that team. And so it's so much goes into getting to that moment, and now we're going to have to go through a whole off season, right? We're going to have to go through everything we just went through again to hopefully get another chance to play, having all these new players, all this stuff. So looking forward to the future, but definitely living in the now as well.
No, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I think it's disappointing the way it ended, but it was a fun season, I think. I enjoyed it. It was kind of a wild season for me overall, but, I mean, it's all a blessing to just be here and just have the opportunities that I've had, and so it's cool to just be able to reflect on that and see where it goes from here.
Have you thought about the whirlwind of, like, two teams, flying all over across the country?
A little bit. I think it's hard to think about during the season, but I think as the offseason progresses, I think it's going to be time for me to kind of just sit down, reflect on everything, and be like, wow, like kind of what a crazy cool experience this has been. And so it was something Dustin and I were talking about yesterday, and he was just like, hey, dude, like make sure you take some time to like sit back and reflect, because like it's been a pretty cool thing what you've done this year. And so it was cool to hear that from him and just kind of get that assurance, like, all right, let's make sure we take that step back and do that.
Game in, game out. I feel like it was, we had our great days and we had some not so great days, you know. So that's something that, you know, we did our best to work on all year. You know, we had guys in and out there, and it was awesome to see guys step up like that. You know, but overall, I think just the culture of our room, I feel like we're continuing to grow, and I feel like a lot of guys have made some enormous improvements on who they are as players, and yeah, it's just got to keep building on that.
With Justin, where do you think he took his step in year 3?
Yeah, I mean, it's just being himself. You know, he's getting more comfortable in the offense with everything. So I mean, and when I say being himself, just being consistently the same person. You know, he's committed to the team. Like that's huge. He's the least egotistical person I think I've ever met. I mean, it's incredible, and that it's because he cares about, you know, what's important, not all the flash, which helps all of us, brings us all closer, and makes us want to work even harder for him.
Some time passed now since last night. What's kind of the feeling? How tough is this, the way that got away?
I mean, it's still tough. It doesn't get any easier. You know, when you look back, reflect on it, it sucks. You know, we didn't make enough plays when we needed to, and, you know, they came out firing, and, you know, you just you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose a game like that.
What do you think, once they got the momentum in the second half, when you guys were on defense, they're on offense, what was going on that you could not just kind of stop them continuously?
You know, kind of got to go back and watch it. I still haven't really watched it yet, trying to kind of let it settle. I don't think there's really one thing you can kind of pinpoint. You know, at the end of the day, like I said, they just made more plays than we did when it mattered, and it was, you know, just didn't go the way we needed it to.
I feel like when you lose, it's so easy to know, you know, try to pinpoint one thing, but I feel like for us to lose like that the way we did, it took a team effort, and I feel like as a team, we lost. It wasn't just one run, one play, one touchdown. I feel like it was an overall group effort, and we didn't get it done.
What are you proud of from this year?
I'm proud of the guys staying together. You know, guys are in and out of the lineup. You know, we didn't have our team for the rest of the whole season, but, you know, guys, whenever their number was called, they stepped up. A lot of young guys, you know, they came out and executed the plan. You know, I missed a couple weeks, guys stepped up. So, you know, I just say credit to the guys that was in his locker room.
How much of a believer are you in taking, like, what happened last night, even though you're watching, and this group putting that as something that you can build off of the way the second half went?
I'm a huge believer. You know, I feel like you are a product of the things you've done in the past, and for us, like, we all have that memory of what it was like last night, and I think you'd be crazy if that didn't motivate you and push you throughout the offseason. But that's just another thing. Like, at the end of the day, we're still professionals. Whether we won last night or lost last night, we were still going to go to work. But, you know, it's definitely something to remember and something to keep in mind down the stretch as we continue to build as a team, just to make sure that doesn't happen again.
I want to have a really good offseason. I'm super excited. I mean, I was feeling rough yesterday, but I'm super excited where I'm going to be come next year. Don't know who's going to be with me, man. I hope I have my guy Khalil with me, and yeah, I just want another chance with this group. I mean, I obviously know it's not going to be everybody, but I really had a fun year with these guys, and I wish I could have. I just looked at Khalil yesterday on the plane and was like, man, I wish I could have been out there with you more this year. It really was upsetting, but you know, I'm proud of this team.